If you drove a Kia or a Hyundai between 2011 and 2021, then your car was built without a standard anti-theft device that virtually every other automaker has already made standard. Not accidentally, but by choice. Kia and Hyundai made a deliberate decision to leave out a component called an engine immobilizer. It prevents a car from starting without the right key. The auto industry had been adapting it as standard since the 1990s. By 2015, 96% of the cars sold in America had one. Kia and Hyundai were at 26%. Here's what makes this choice harder to defend. These companies were simultaneously installing immobilizers in the same models that they sold in Canada and Europe, where the law required them to do so. Canadian law had mandated immobilizers since 2007. Europe required them even earlier. American buyers got a cheaper version. The thieves figured out what Kia and Hyundai had known for years. A YouTube and TikTok tutorial went viral in 2022, showing how to break the ignition with a USB cord. The, quote, Kia challenge spread on social media, and the theft numbers followed. In Milwaukee, thefts of Kia and Hyundai vehicles jumped nearly eightfold between 2020 and 2021. These cars were engineered to be stolen in under 90 seconds, not by professionals, but by teenagers with household items and a TikTok account. These stolen vehicles didn't just sit in driveways. They were later used to commit other crimes. They were driven recklessly. They caused crashes. In one case that's now before federal courts, a 15-year-old stole a Kia and, while fleeing police, struck and killed a man named Matthew Moshi. In another, a 16-year-old stole a Hyundai and seriously injured a man named Donald Strench. These are not freak accidents. The federal government had known since 1968 that 18% of stolen cars eventually become involved in accidents, and had said so explicitly in regulatory filings. Kia and Hyundai, as regulated manufacturers, had access to that data. But the consequences extended far beyond these crashes. State Farm and Progressive temporarily stopped issuing new insurance policies for the affected vehicles. Owners who had never been victimized found themselves unable to get coverage for cars that they were still making payments on. In December 2025, 36 state attorney generals announced a $9 million settlement with those two companies. The money was split: $4.5 million in restitution available to customers whose vehicles were damaged by thieves, and $4.5 million paid to the states to cover for the cost of the investigation. As part of the settlement, these companies agreed to equip all future vehicles sold in the United States with standard immobilizer technology. The fix the companies are now providing for free is a hardware upgrade to a problem that they created by cutting costs on a part that by some estimates only costs around $170 per vehicle. They're offering now because 36 attorney generals, 2 federal lawsuits, a public safety crisis, and a wave of uninsurable cars forced them to do what the rest of the industry had been doing since the 1990s.